Hello everyone and welcome to another VOD review. We are going to watch the Seoul Dynasty take on the Philadelphia Fusion and it's gonna be a banger. For those of you who have not seen this series, MN3 pounds. Like hard pounds. He is one of the reasons that the Philadelphia Fusion got the win over the Seoul Dynasty. I know it's rare. Philly fans, this is a match that I'm reviewing of you guys that you actually win. They haven't been winning very much this season. Philly, especially in this stage, has really struggled to get some points on the board. But then they go in with their last match before we go into the midseason playoffs. They take down the Seoul Dynasty, one of the front runners for the team. So let's have a look at it. Let's break it down, see what we're gonna get from these guys. I'm gonna be doing a lot of MN3 pub just because of how dominant he was. But let's just get into it. Hey, Mr. Poe, are you coming in here for the VOD review? Hey?
5, 4.
Alright, let's do it. Alright, so we got MN3 Ash, we got Bull, Zen versus Anna Doom. Have we seen that much, have we seen that much Smurf Wrecking Ball this season? I think in general he's been prioritizing playing the Doomfist, which is a very Western way of playing the game. It feels like the Eastern region likes to play a lot more Wrecking Ball, and the San Francisco Shock prefer to play Wrecking Ball over the Doomfist. Smurf. That is a big nade on a fixer, but no one's able to finish it up. And Philly get the first point. Perfect time to start the Philly Hopium before crushing my dreams. That's just going to be the Philly way, right? If you're a Philly fan, you should not get too excited because they're going to disappoint you. They always do. It's their superpower, honestly, at this point. They always know how to disappoint the fans. So yeah, they're looking good. Yeah, they could have a run in the playoffs. Do I think they can win the playoffs, though? Absolutely not. I think one of the biggest issues with this team is that they're individually skilled, especially with MN3 and Zest. I just feel like they don't have the coordination and ultimate usage to beat the best teams consistently. And they just sort of rely on people to pop off like MN3 does in this series. Like, they just give up the point and Zest dies. Like, I feel like they just disengage from that, like, without anything really happening. Like, why does Philly lose this point, right? Let's look at this. So they slam, don't get anything of it. They disengage. Seoul doesn't use a single ultimate. Keep disengaging. Don't fight for it. Zest just loses on his own, and they just lose. Like, kind of a weird way to just go down. MN3 stuck on the high ground. Should be dead. Oh, actually, this shot was sick. They showed this replay a lot of times. Watch this from MN3. Spicy shot on the Prophet. Good rally by the Fusion. They get point. Oh, Vindame's gonna commit the rally here. Oh, and dies. It forces the Transcendence, so it's not the worst. We'll fix it, might die as well for this. Oh, no. We're still on the point. Oh my god, Seoul is committing to this fight. Oh, they get Angot as well. Oh my god, they get Zest, and the bomb comes out. Dude, that was a crazy hold by Seoul. That could have been a terrible play. Like, that could have been absolutely awful for the Seoul Dynasty, but because they get the cap, you can justify it. Or they held onto the cap. But that was, if they didn't hold onto that cap, this point, like, they probably would have not got another ultimate cycle because there's only 50% left for the Philadelphia Fusion. So, Balls of Steel. It was either genius or stupidity. It's a fine line at times. And now we get the Fusion Bob. But just like, look at how Fusion use their ult comparatively to Seoul. Like, Belis Rhea just like doesn't do anything. They just put the Bob on the point. Zest comes in, throws a pulse bomb, just hits the ground, but like nothing's really happening. And then they lose MN3. So it's like, It's sort of what I mean. It doesn't feel like they have that coordination and structure like some of these other teams. Like, they just sort of walking in and hoping for the best. And Seoul are just punishing them right now. Seems like Seoul live by the Prophet Smurf dive. Well, that's kind of how the dive is supposed to work. You're supposed to live and die by the dive of your Tracer Doom. Vindame actually doing well in Zen? Yes, Vindame's actually impressed me a lot on the Zenyatta. Oh my god. The Nano Zen into that as well. This has actually become a trend recently as well. A lot of teams have been playing a lot of Nano Zen. Just like, you save the Nano because it's not that good on your Doomfist or your Tracer or your Ashe. Like, it's fine and it's good if you need to and it'll save them. But if you can put it on your Zen to keep your Zen alive and the Zen can hit some shots, it's definitely worth. Another bob by Fitz. Oh, Vindame getting a little spicy on the flank. Yeah, but no one touches. It's kind of hard with that bob on the point. Thoughts on the MN3 Sombra? Yeah, he only switched to it towards the end. Like, I think he sort of felt like he wasn't going to get any more value and he was getting dove so hard so they can potentially get hacks and turn it that way, but...
2, 1. Round 2. Capture the objective.
Alright. What pub do we want? Let's go overhead for this one. It seems like Nano's getting used to save people much more consistently than ever before. Well, historically, every time you've ever played an Ana in the past, you played it with a Winston or a Genji, so it's like there's a very obvious Nano target. Well, I don't think there's a very obvious Nano target right now. Seoul playing quite far back. Smurf getting low. It's a lot of posturing, but Philly has the point, so it doesn't really... It's a pretty bad fight for Seoul. Like, it's just taking them a long time for this fight to happen. Get Nano Smurf. Hunting down MN3. Unable to get anything. Yeah, this has been a really bad fight for Seoul so far. Bell's really doing a good job of just being annoying to the backline. Yeah, this is an awful fight for Seoul. Sojourn vs Ball. I don't like Sojourn here. You already see Fitz switch to the Ashe. Sojourn versus like Ball or Doomfist just isn't very good because you can't charge the railgun up fast enough. And we've seen a lot of people start to do that trend even in the West. Less so going over to the Ashe and more going over to the Hanzo. But yeah, I think the West is prioritizing Sojourn a little bit too much right now because Sigma's not being played as much. Bap Shift is so broken. It's so good versus dives. I just think Bap overall is a worse character than I think Ana and Zen right now. But if you can play with the dive, I think it's quite good. Yeah, I don't like the way that they're using Bob. Like, I don't like the way that MN3 is using Bobs. They're kind of like using it to open up a fight, but it's just getting slept over and over again. And just not really getting effectiveness. MN3 dives. Window goes down, but into a rally. It's probably not going to do anything. Yeah, this is kind of like a slow burn here for the Fusion. Not really able to do anything. They're just kind of stalling out the point at this point. 90%. Zest goes on last. Fix actually goes over to the brig, and I actually don't mind that. On-fight territory, yeah. See what Smurf does with his ultimate. Zamir, Prophet, and Zest been really quiet this tournament. Zest has had his moments. I don't think Prophet is like... You can say Prophet's been quiet, but they've also just been dominating most of the tournament. But don't worry, Prophet, playoff Prophet will come through. Oh, Nano Doomfist. No, playoff Prophet always comes through in the end. Oh. Big nade. Yeah, Fitz. Who was saying that Fitz is overrated? Is the worst hit scan in APAC? Someone was saying that Fitz is the worst hit scan in APAC recently. We are using Prime sub? Oh, it's alright, you got a sub? Ban him? Yeah. I don't know. Oh, that's just standing still for that one. Fitz is actually like, usually I would say Fitz is underrated, but he's not underrated anymore. People keep rating him pretty well. He is a great hit scan. He competes with the best in the East. Is he the best hit scan? I don't think so. But he's consistent. He has a deep hero pool. I like worth going to monthly melee, but that's also just factually incorrect. Do you think Sparker's a better hit scan? In the APAC top 4. Oh, in the APAC top 4. I thought they meant in all of monthly melee. So I thought we were getting Fitz, Lip, MN3, Shy rank in East. I guess if you want to put them in that order, like if we're just talking the East, I can understand it a little bit better. But like, I would still go for Fitz over MN3 because, yeah, if they're playing Ashe and only Ashe, probably take MN3 after this most recent performance. But Fitz's strength is in his flexibility. What's Carpe's role in the fusion now that MN3 and Zest have sort of been coming into their own now? Take a backseat role. What the fuck, Bozria? Like, I don't think Carpe should be in the lineup right now, and he needs to accept that. And I think the Philly Fusion need to accept that as well. Clean first map by the Seoul Dynasty. How do you feel about Stalker and Soul's rotation? I like it. They seem to like Stalker if they want to play Sojin. On maps they want to play Sojin, Stalker comes in. I think they like Stalker's Sojin over Fitz. Carpe is washed. Carpe's a fine player. I just don't think he's dominant like he was in the past. I think MN3 and Zest have been having better performances. Fitz Sojin was good as fuck as well, yeah, but like, as I said, in a world, you probably don't need to take Fitz out ever. Maybe if you want to play like a Tracer Echo or something like that. But yeah, you know, Soul have the freedom to do it.
Defend objective A.
We're in this together.
Let's get some MN3 Sojin popped in. So Zest goes over to the Tracer, gonna play Sojin, Tracer, Wrecking Ball, Zen, Bap. I don't really like the Bap in this lineup. I guess what would you play otherwise? Ana? It's not the worst. Oh, Zest gets caught early. I think he's the best hit scan in the monthly melee. It's so subjective. Like, I don't think you can really... like, how would you put someone over, like, another person? Like, how do you put MN3 over Shy, right? In recent Ashe performances, MN3's probably better, but Shy's been more dominant. Lip has been consistent for years. Like, I don't know. I don't think you need to rank or have a number one. And I think that's like a... It also heavily depends on the team that they're playing on, the meta that they're playing on, the hero that they're playing on. Like... And like people say Kai, but like Kai was really good at the beginning of Sojin in this stage, but he hasn't been as dominant as of late. He hasn't had as dominant hit scan performances in comparison to like MN3 recently. Lips had some crazy hit scan performances. MN3 is just a problem right now. He's just existing in the backline, and they're just slowly walking over the Seoul Dynasty. Clean, methodical play by Philly. Kai might have a harder time in monthly melee. Yeah, I'm curious to see if Atlanta is going to play more Ashe or Hanzo. considering that the Eastern teams, they just don't play Sigma that much, like, or any Rush for that matter as well. Been super impressed with Creative. Yeah, Creative's been solid. Like, I don't think Creative has had, like, as many dominant, like, crazy pop-off moments, but I think he's solid. Like, he's not a problem. Like, he doesn't die easily. He does get the picks he needs to get. Like, he's just all-round solid. So I feel like get the cap through. Let's get some Zest Tracer Pop, honestly. Whew. His slates are insane early on, yeah. I've been more impressed with Vindame. Vindame has been really good to me. The fact that he can play the flex support seems like he can play every support at a high level. He's been popping off. He's smart. He doesn't usually make too many mistakes. Okay, just fighting for the cart. Soul have so many ultimates. Fixer's Ana. I haven't really noticed Fixer as much, to be crazy. Like, not as much as Vindame, at least. Fixer's, he's another one that's been, like, solid. Honestly, the entire backline for Fear has been solid, but it hasn't impressed me. Okay, we get a Flux from... Wait, did Smurf just miss his Flux? What happened there? Oh, yeah, that was not great. That was really not great. They're probably going to need something else to help them hold here now. Stalker might have to pop the overclock. He looks great on Brig. Yeah, he looks good on Brig, but, like, you know... I feel like Brig is hard to, like, determine, and, like, that doesn't define how good of a player is. Oh... Yeah, Stalker just not able to find anything through the trance. He did a lot of damage, just no kills because he didn't get a headshot. Good stick by Prophet. Blink, blink. Alright, let's see how MN3 does with this one then. Chio's another good shot if he can work on his Zen a bit. Yeah, Chio's been good on the Lucio Brig, but I haven't really loved his double flex. Philly's attacks on Midtown second have pained me this year, really. They're just not doing anything. And here's why I go back into this Philly point of, like, have we noticed anything Philly has done just through this match just thus far? Have we seen Philly do anything? It's like, oh, good play. Like, not really, right? Like, they've had Zest pop off a little bit. MN3's had some good moments, but, like, the dives by Bellisria and Zest haven't been super clean to be able to isolate targets. Feels like they're just playing on individual performances. They're just like they're just sort of standing around. They're playing it like they have a sig, but they don't. And then, like, they drop a window, but it's not far enough forward. And this is my worry for Philly, and this is why I don't rate them that highly going into the mid-season madness. I just don't think they understand how to play it perfectly. Like, they're still good enough to be able to perform at a high level, and they obviously get it to some point, but I just think good teams are going to pick them apart in the way that Seoul does. And Shanghai and all those kind of teams. Like, MN3 is just still holding on to this. Like, they just haven't done anything. So he gets a couple of picks. Like, Stalker's almost at another one, another overclock, and MN3 hasn't popped his yet. you say Fusion have a compositional advantage here? No, I think Seoul has a compositional advantage. I think the Sigma double flex is better on this point, especially if we're going to play this way. If Fusion are going to play this composition, they need to play more aggressive. And if they are going to do it, I don't like the Baptiste with it. Like, what does Baptiste offer in this composition? Like, your lamps aren't going to get crazy value because there's people not around. Yes, you have the counter dive, but they're not trying to dive. Like, Soul's not trying to dive you. I prefer the Vindane Bap compared to the Fixer Bap because he's playing around a Sigma, he can get more value with his lamps, he can drop windows more aggressively, and he can counter the dive of the Fusion, but that's not really what Fixer can do. So I'm not in love with the Baptiste with the ball. So like, and then they like set up this dive and they just like drop the mines and they just force off the positioning. It's all just like, okay, they disengage. And because they don't get enough value with the mines, Creative's able to hold on to the Transcendence. So now all of a sudden MN3 is going to pop the thing, hits Stalker, which is big. But like Creative still has the Transcendence. They can still get back into this as long as they don't lose too many people. Play aggressive. So MN3 just got a bunch of picks, right? Like,
Special delivery.
and that's sort of what we talk about of like, are they really playing well or is MN3 just, MN3 just killed 2 people randomly with the rails? This was a bit of a troll. This was a little, I don't know what Vindane thought was going to happen here. I think this is Vindane feeling himself a little much. Like, does he just expect not to get pushed by someone? Philly's game plan, MN3 get picks. Yeah, it's just not reliable. He thought he was Shu. Vindame, like, ah, shit. Drops and gets killed. He's like, ah, shit. Sorry, I thought I was Shu for a second there.
Enemy here. Hey.
Long time laugher, first time watcher. Thanks for having this on so I can put up the times best just for you a little bit longer. Hey, I got you covered. Yeah, you got to really be in the right mindset. You know what I mean? To watch the Washington Vancouver game. You gotta be ready to accept that you're about to be disappointed. You gotta get yourself in that position.
Incoming.
Flux on MN3, not a great flux by Smurfs. So honestly, Smurfs fluxes have been pretty meh so far. Good pick by MN3. So Zest gets a stick, MN3 gets a headshot. That's how they're busting this open. So like Bellis Ria does a good job of being annoying and being around, but I just don't feel like they have punish potential. Oh, Smurf just, that was Smurf punished himself with that one. Probably gets Ambigot though. All right, Bellis Ria, I need a big time dive with these mines. All right, pretty good mines. I like it. Good punish on a Prophet, peel back. Oh, Stalker gets MN3 though. Well, you've got to get Stalker. Bellis Ria is probably just gonna die though. Chilling on it. Don't really matter. Alright, so they get stopped on second. So now we get to see the Philly rush. So Philly is the only team, I believe, in the East that has tried playing these rush compositions. I don't think anyone in the East has really tried rush. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with these Eastern teams against these rush teams. Like, is London going to be able to catch Seoul Dynasty off guard? Because Seoul Dynasty do not deal with the rush very well here at all. It's actually not too bad. Yeah, Philly's always been a team that has rush in their back pocket. I'm surprised they still do, considering that this is like a very different iteration of Philly than what we saw in like 2020, right? Seoul and Shanghai have? Really? Like, consistently? I feel, I don't remember. Well, I guess Seoul mirrors it here. And Shanghai played rush? I don't remember that. Like Lijiang control. Yeah, I guess, yeah, maybe on like the usual suspects. I guess not on Lijiang, I guess, is probably a better precursor to put on it. Smurf's in trouble with the profit going down for almost free. Clean play. I don't think I like the way Seoul is approaching that of just like walking through the open. I guess they don't want to get walled, but they just took so much damage. Ilios? Wait, a team played Rush on Ilios? On what map? That doesn't sound right. Ruins? Oh, they did do that. That was on, Seoul did it versus Philly in the finals. I remember watching that in the recap recently. Yeah, you're right. They stopped them, yeah. Oh, no, it was against Shanghai. You're right. Yeah, it caught them off guard. One of those two. I remember what you're talking about. It was in the kickoff Clash playoffs.
Wobble, wobble, motherfucker.
Alright, so we got a wall up front. Sorry, I'm in fucking Narnia watching this engagement. I was just trying to capture it all. Oh, Zest. Wow, that lamp saved his life. Lamp's down, though. Gauging good window. Window should at least give him a bit of space. The window by creative is not as good. Not many people are going to... Oh, Bella's rear. Yeah. He needed that shadow just a little bit earlier, but that should be a first point. Gyashai, thank you very much for the Prime sub. Welcome to the fam.
Objective loss. Stop the payload.
Is mirroring the rush the correct decision? Rush is pretty good on this point, especially with the Mei if you play it right. So I don't hate the mirror of the rush, and I'm sure both teams have played it in the past. They both have some level of confidence in it. But I think Seoul definitely gets the worst of this trade. But that could just be defensive advantage as well. Oh, good. That was a great coach gun by MN3. Look at this. He's getting run at super hard by the Lucio Sojin, and this coach gun gets both of them. Look at this. Bloop, and just murders Vindane for that. Clean play by MN3. I actually really like the Ashe here on this second point as well, because you have the dynamite against the rush, you have the bob. Like, I actually think Ashe is pretty good against this. Sojin obviously has its own value. You have the slow and you have the rail, and you can charge it on the Rhine shield. Didn't put the score up in the top. Oh, good shout. It is 1-0 to the Seoul Dynasty right now. Stalker rail. Good B. Oh, is he going to get isolated? Oh, wow. Great play by Fixer. Gets the punish. Well, late beat by Seoul. Oh, wow. Probably just got evaporated. Yeah, I think that might have been a little too greedy of a beat from Seoul there, and that's gonna they drop window as well, right? So this is like the inverse of what happened on University on Oasis, of like that overconfidence by Seoul Dynasty thinking they can win a 4v5. They drop window, they drop mail, they drop and they drop the beat to try and win a fight in which Stalker was pretty much already dead. Isn't Ashe better for Rush? I think there's value in both. Like, remember that slow field is really strong against the Reinhardt. I don't know. I haven't seen enough of the Rush mirrors to see with Ashe versus Sojin to really have too much of an informed guess. I think both are viable in their own way. Stalker having a tough game, yeah, absolutely. Get some MN3 pop here. Let's see how the Ashe works here. I'm a little too high. Shadow goes down by Bella's-Zaria. Doesn't really find anything. Oh, actually, maybe he found Profit there. Sorry, does he see the Lucio? I don't see the Lucio. I guess he knows Vindane's there from the top left of his screen. Just took us. I wonder if on low settings that tree is different, but he seems to see him just fine. I don't think I'm on low, so maybe he can see through the foliage of the tree. I might be on low setting. I'm actually not sure what setting I'm on. But good fight there by Stalker. Stalker ended up getting a few kills. I think the leaves are different. Yeah, it could be. That's probably more likely. Oh, Zest with the... Oh, what the f... Zest just walks up and just kills Stalker? Excuse me? Oh, that's so unlucky. He gets hit by a fire strike and then a jumping May. It's actually so tragic. Oh, good wall. Wow, that was a bad fight for Seoul to lose. That didn't cost Philly anything.
60 seconds remaining.
Custa getting a few kills. Yeah, you know. Like that was one of those 5Ks though from Stalker where it's like he got a 5K but he didn't go crazy and kill all 5. It was like most of them were low. The team like won the fight. Like yeah, you got a couple of good picks, but you know, it's like when Lucio's get like 3Ks and then everyone's like, oh my god, he's crazy, and then you watch it back and he like just punches 3 people. Like they're pretty much already dead and he just like nudges them for the kill. It's from Smurf Shatter, yeah.
30 seconds remaining.
All right, Bella's rear shatter. Let's see when he wants to drop it. Let's see if we can get a main tank difference. Oh, good counter pin. Holy fuck. That was so smart because now he's frozen in the... Oh, no, he's frozen. Wow, tanks are just straight up not having a good time right now. Oh! Yeah, Smurf just got on that one. Oh, aim god. Smurf's run hasn't been too bad. Spoke too soon, yeah.
Victory.
2-1 for Smurf? Nah, that's whatever. I think people who only track shatters in a Rhine mirror that's not how it works. There's a lot of things that go into a Rhine mirror other than just the shatters. Obviously the shatters are the big ones, but...
Ready for battle.
It was like that person who was trying to tell me that Chatty didn't diff Piggy, and he's just talking about all the shatters that happened. I'm like, did you see how many times Piggy got pinned and just got rolled by Chatty? All right, so now we have MN3 and Carpe, so they're going to play the double hit scan here for Philly. They got Fury in the lineup, playing the Sigma. Double flex support, both teams playing this. This is pretty much what I think should be played on Circuit Royale. Not Genji Brig or whatever the frick the Vancouver Titans tried to play. This is about what I would expect coming in for the monthly Melee tournament. MN3 time? Yeah, let's get some MN3 pop. The replay viewer is not publicly available just yet. It's cats.
Incoming.
Sag. Oh. It's disappointing we won't get to see Happy versus MN3. You know, obviously I love Happy just as much as everyone else, but there's a lot of other great hit scan deals we'll get to see. Oh, nice play by MN3. Oh, wow. All right, good jump by Fitz. Dude, MN3 was watching that for so long only to get killed as soon as he looks away. This is the perfect role for Carpe. Yeah, Carpe should just fill when the hero pools don't make sense for MN3 and Zest, right? Like, this is exactly what Carpe's role should be on this team. I agree. So they weren't able to capitalize on that pick. I guess they lost their own players as well. Yeah, Carpe and Prophet haven't really offered much yet. But both Sigmas have Flux. Lamp is already out for Philly, but they drop window. Double Flux. 1 second. Double Flux. Wow, they're able to keep up both the Soul players. Oh, but they lose both tanks. Do you like the Sojin, the Hanzo or the Sojin better? I like the Sojin better. I think Sojin is more consistent. Like you can get better picks, but Hanzo has better pop-off potential. Like you can just farm with Hanzo and you can potentially just murder the shield of the Sigma faster. But I like the Sojin's ability to kill the Widow like more consistently. But I don't think there is a wrong answer right now with both of those. It's Toaster, thank you very much for the 3 gifted. Enjoy your break skin. Genji, I don't love the Genji here. I think Genji is better on second point. When you're second point attack, I like the Genji. I don't like the Genji on first point. I think there's too many situations in which the Genji never gets space to be able to do anything and just does nothing for 4 minutes. I would rather see a Hanzo and Widow to take this duel.
No one can hide from my sight.
Is this the moment? I think it is. Oh, he literally hit 5 shots in a row perfectly. It's so good. Oh my god. Just do that every time. Just do that every time and you'll be fine. Check in PC, not normally. Carpe dies early here, which is a problem, so they're gonna have to disengage. How I imagine myself when I pick Widow? Yeah, instead we like die, we just fall over. Oh. That was an important headshot to hit with the Storm Arrow. Gave him a lot of positioning. Well played. So Soul should get that one, get the right pick, get the picks. Carpe still hasn't used all. Yeah, he's had it for a while, he just... Obviously, he got picked, and then by the time he gets back, he's dead, so... Do you think Fusion have a chance against Seoul if MN3 didn't pop this hard? No. Well, as I said, I think Seoul is still a better team. I think Seoul would win most of the time. This was questionable, by the way. Aim God gets caught in Old Spawn and decides to pop the Transcendence. It, like, sort of works. But not really. Like, it doesn't do anything, really. Yeah, they get to pick on the Smurf, but that was not a result, really, of the Transcendence. Fitz gets Carpe. Forever gets MN3, though. Some important picks. And that's, you know, this is how Circuit Royale usually plays out with these double snipers. It's just like who... Honestly, most of the onus is on the snipers. A little bit on the Sigmas. But that seems to really be the big difference makers on this map. It's about making a statement. What was the statement? We don't have Transcendence anymore? Please flux us. MN3 gets creative. Oh, wow, that was a nice play by Prophet. Do you think bad players got used to jumping too much? I think some players got used to jumping too much. Sometimes it's really good. I just think, like, against dive, jumping I think is really good. Except when there's, like, a tracer on your ass. But, like, against snipers, jumping is generally a bad thing. Because it just makes it easier, right? There's less directions you can move. Alright, let's get back on some MN3 pub. Come on, buddy. I love you. Mwah.
That's better. Understood.
Against Widow, yeah, you know, it's like, it's the Violet meme of jumping against the Widow. Even against Ash Cree, yeah. It's the classic, there's a time and a place for everything. And all the time is not the time or place. Oh, Prophet gets Carpe with another arrow. Dude, Prophet's actually getting pretty good value from this Hanzo now. Carpe, like, has Carpe even got a kill? Has Carpe got a final blow yet in this map? It doesn't feel like it. Fitz gets Fixer. Yeah, this is just falling apart for him. Oh. Oh. You win these MN3. Oh, nice chance. Good play by Prophet. Yeah, Carpe's just not getting enough value on this Sojin right now. compared to Prophet, who's getting a bunch of picks here and there.
You can't hide. Scanning.
Oh, that was close. That might have been a shot. Oh. Let's get some Carpe pop then. Pool fight, ooh. Get the noodles out. No, the replay below doesn't show chat or stats. Dude, Prophet just evaporated. Oh, as the Carpe. Alright, we got a flux in from Smurf. Gets Fury. Alright, so Soul should get the positioning for that. They did lose their... What is that, Hanzo though? So I don't know how forward they're going to be able to hold here. MN3's got walls.
30 seconds remaining.
Keep it tight. Last moments are crucial.
No one can hide from my sight.
Oh! Wow, Prophet should not be alive. Oh my god. Yeah, that Bap and Hanzo are not in a good spot. That would have been a crazy shot if he hit that. You win these, Carpe! That wasn't great. Oh, that was nice. Clean!
Railgun charged. Let's get back to basics. What's the rush?
Ben Burst was saying on a Apply stream that he loves the Mercy GA. He says it gives her a lot more creativity with her movement. I agree. Like, people are complaining about her movement, but I think it makes it way more interesting, the fact that you can jump in any direction. You don't have as much mobility and you can't go as far, but I think there's going to be a lot of really cool text that can come from the Mercy mobility. The only thing that I ask for with the new Mercy change is that if you should be able to do at least a short hop when you're close to someone. It feels like unless you get a ton of charge up, which is where you've flown a long way with the GA, it can feel like you can't really do anything. You don't have many options. So, but I think it's a better change.
Ready for battle.
Feels a tad clunky. Yeah, but like, people get used to it, right? Like, people are like, oh, I can't do as much as I used to when they've been playing with the old Mercy GA for the last, what, 5 years? Give it time. People will work out cool things that you can do. It'll be better in the long run. It's one of those things that, yeah, it might feel weird now, but in the long run, it'll probably be a much better change. All right, does MN3 pound on attack? I can't remember. Oh. Someone has less than an hour of Mercy playtime. It felt fine to me. It's also the change of the Mercy is intended to make it easier for people to use, right? It's giving Mercy players the movement without having to know how to super jump how it used to be, right? So it's a lot more intuitive and a lot easier. Oh, nice shot. I don't know how MN3 sees these things. Oh. Oh. Yeah, see, if MN3 just does this, yeah, they'll win the monthly melee. Oh my god. Like, everyone was complaining it messed up her res somehow. They might have been. Are you sure she's talking about the old one? The old GA was really bad. Don't get me wrong, the old GA was awful, but this new iteration that came out on Tuesday is much better.
Hello there.
Did I say monthly madness? Did I say monthly melee? I meant mid-season madness. I don't know what's what. No, they're gonna go back to the monthly melee. You said it like 100 times. Oh, I'm just stupid. It's the same thing I say when I say it's gonna October 4th is Overwatch 4th. It's now Overwatch 4th is the day. October 4th shall forever be known as Overwatch Day. I'll just say yeah. I need to get out of my brain because I can't say that on official broadcast. Alright, Flux. Oh, wow. Oh, Carpe gets fits. Carpe busting it wide open. Dude, MN3 is hard at holding this angle. Okay, it's creative transcendence. Dude, Soul are running out of ultimates to use. Carpe kind of owning. Carpe kind of owning. Carpe owning. Alright, there we go. DPS coming alive for Philly. Carpe's the body shot bandit. He is the body shot bandit. You were right. Carpe lost him. I love that MN3 is being spectated for like 90% of the match. Honestly, man, you go where the fans want to see. No, I don't think we can look here though. Cuz, can MN3 put up this performance every match? No, not every match. He's definitely going to be good, but every match? No, that's unrealistic. You can't expect your Widowmaker to just be able to pop 3 heads consistently in a match. He will do it, otherwise I will complain on Twitter, dude, as all Philly fans do. It's their superpower. Philly fans, their superpower is to complain about how their team sucks. Oh? How is he not being punished for this yet? Wow. That would be a crazy shot. What are we looking at here? I actually remember this. I don't know why Smurf walks into this. Like, Smurf literally just straight walks into this flux. I don't think he thought this flux was still going. Like, Smurf kind of trolled there. I don't know why Fury didn't run more. Oh, nice shot. Yeah, Philly should have won that. Like, Philly straight up should have won that fight. That was poorly executed. Dink watch. You know the vibes. MN3 Hyperflex. The MN3 Genji, the thing of legends. Let's see it. Dude, he could have deflected that arrow. Straight up. Carpe gets fits. Yeah, honestly, Carpe's been pretty good, pretty big in this round. Dude, he aims like a hit scan player on Genji. He's very good. He has very direct shurikens. Honestly, pretty good. MN3 Genji, pretty good. All right, 2-1 for the Philadelphia Fusion.
Ready for battle.
There's no way Philly fucks this up, right? There's no way. Philly would never blow a lead like this. Yeah, we're gonna watch MN3 in this round. What's the opposite of clueless? Zero, thank you very much for the tier 3 5-month sub. Your VOD reviews is literally the entire reason I started watching Overwatch League, and now I tune in for every game. Love you, Custa. Yo, that's awesome. I'm glad you've been enjoying the league. Appreciate it like all of us. Thank you very much for all the subs and the support. Oh my... Like, how does his brain react this fast? Like, that's not how brains work. He had to have predicted that blink. Oh my god. Muscle memory, yeah. Custa confirms MN3 is cyborg. I can't believe MN3 is cheating in an Overwatch League match. It's crazy. Come on, MN3. We told you you're not allowed to do this. He's in the future. Are we in the Matrix right now, chat? It feels like we're in the Matrix. It's not any trace. That's a good point as well. Like, he's not doing it against, you know, the Paris Eternal. He's doing it against Prophet, probably the greatest player of all time. And that's what makes these things more impressive, and I think you need to keep those things in mind when we're talking about how teams are performing, the regions and all that kind of stuff. Like, there is a big difference. It's the cheesesteaks. Where is this cheesesteak meme coming from? From the casters? Feel there's known for cheesesteaks? Yeah. Avril said it? Ah, okay, okay. Because I watched this game, but I didn't have the casters on very loud. So I probably missed it. A Philly cheesesteak place in Seoul? Really? I do. I love Philly cheesesteaks. Dude, Philly cheesesteaks are like one of my favorite foods, but it's so fucking bad for you. It's literally bread, fucking sauce, cheese, and meat, obviously. But it's... none of those things are good for you. Except for maybe meat. Peppers and onions? Yeah, but peppers and onions aren't... neither of those are good for you, really, right? Red meat is not good for you. Yeah, well, you know, it's not awful for you though, right? It's not cheese. Onions are good for you, are they? They've got good nutrients? Okay. That's it. I'm getting a Philly cheesesteak. And then I'm not gonna feel bad about it, chat, because you said so. You guys said that Philly cheesesteaks are good for you. Custa out here thinking onions and peppers aren't vegetables. Well, I knew they were vegetables, but I just didn't like think what I guess I sort of mean when I say that. We're pausing this, by the way, because this discussion needs to happen. The reason I say that they're not good for you is because you don't eat a lot of onions and you don't eat a lot of peppers for the most part. So you don't really get a lot of healthy nutrients from either of those things. Like, how much onion and pepper do you think is really in a Philly cheesesteak? Like half of a pepper, half of an onion? Yeah, as I said, it doesn't outweigh the fact that I'm eating a whole fucking baguette worth of bread and a shit ton of cheese. It's not called a Philly onion pepper steak. It's called a cheese steak, you know? Back to the review. I've had enough of this. Wow, he actually murdered that Bob. I feel like I don't hip fire enough when I play Ashe. Oh, nice play by Vinde. Every time I see Vinde, a good Ashe play, they hip fire so much and then like quickly aim down scope and quick scope. I just fucking hard scope and then die to a tracer usually. Dude, Fitz is dodging the Matrix right now. Thoughts on root beer? Root beer is the devil's soda. It's actually so mid on so many different levels. It's same as Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper is also trashed here. And there we go. I've insulted multiple people.
Wobble wobble, motherfucker.
See, thank you for the prime sub, Mac Value. While you are sitting there, seething and molding as you think about what you're gonna write in the comments section of this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video while you're here. And then you can leave the hateful comment about how Dr. Pepper is way better and that root beer is really good and I'm just an ignorant Australian. Before you do all that, make sure to do those other things. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you guys want more VOD reviews or if you want to hear me say more heinous takes, and like the video for the algorithm. You guys, try your shitty root beer, try your shitty Dr. Pepper, and then try Bundaberg ginger beer that Australia created. I'm pretty sure. If we didn't, we're taking claim for it. And then tell me that either of those shitty trash tier drinks are better than Bundaberg ginger beer. Cream soda is better than all. Cream soda? Cream soda isn't even in the discussion. I forget about cream soda. Cream soda doesn't even exist in my brain. It's such a bad drink that I wouldn't even put it in a tier list. Guys, we're getting off track. Aussie supremacy, let's go Australia. It's coming home. That's not our phrase, but oh, later MN3. There's no way Provo wins this, right? No, alright. Oh, a ball. Oh, Fixer. Wait, was that Fixer's nade? Did Fixer just throw his nade too far? No, I think it was Creative's nade. Why did he stop healing? Oh yeah, it was Creative's nade. I thought that was Fix's nade that he just threw too deep. One second, we're gonna get it. You're just mad because your country hasn't been on the moon. Yeah, that's what I really think about when I'm like, why is the USA way better than Australia? I always like to think, you know, the moon. That's where I go to. Those are the things that I'm like, man, this is why I live here now, because we here have been to the moon. Cat9, thank you for the gifted sub. The USA has not lost a single war to a bird. True? True? I was gonna say a pretty bad joke, so I'm just not gonna say it. Oh, good hack, good purple. MN3 getting a little too spicy. I actually really like how Fitz plays Sombra, by the way. Let's see if we can catch it here, but the way that Fitz likes to use his EMPs is he just hacks someone and then EMPs again. And then he just murders one person with it. And this is why Fitz, I like having Fitz on my team compared to, you know, people are saying he's the worst in the APAC region on hit scan. Fitz can just switch to Sombra and dominate. Like, a lot of these other teams don't have that flexibility. So this is how that's how Fitz likes to do it, right? So obviously they nerfed hack, and Fitz is like, well, fuck you. I'm just gonna keep it at 2 seconds. So he hacks someone, shoots them a little bit, EMPs them, does the damage, and then they're permanently hacked. And they always coordinate that dive with either a Prophet or a Smurf. And because EMP is just not a very good ultimate right now, even if you hit multiple people, if you can isolate and kill one target just like they did to MN3, it's worth it. Lip is arguably better on both hit scans and Sombra. Yeah, but we're not talking about Fitz versus Lip. We're talking about Fitz versus MN3, Fitz versus Shy, Fitz versus the Western hit scans. Alright, so MN3 throws a bob out. Once again, a bob engage. Where did he even throw this? What is this bob positioning? Ah, clean play there by MN3. Oh, that would have been a crazy shot. So did they get the butt scratch? I think they did, right? So Philly's got to be careful. Oh my god, so much damage. Dude, team, where is MN? Where is his support? Where is the rest of? Actually though, where MN3, I am just as confused as you. Where the fuck is the rest of your team? What the? So the rest of his team is really far, is dealing with some of the things in the back. MN3 did not get that memo, but he does get nanoed. So it's fine, we'll call it even. Oh, Bellis got slapped. Oh, wow. Oh! Holy, oh my. Who needs coordination or strategy when you just have a player that does that? Like, literally, they have, Philly has like, feels like negative coordination. They just don't work together. Everyone's all over the place. They're just running around. But it doesn't matter if MN3 just fucking two taps everybody he fights. Deep intellectual strategy coming out of Philly right now, dude. Their brains are just so wrinkly. They were like, hey, let's just, what if, we have all these ultimates. What do we do? What if we just nano MN3? He's a genius. Let's do it, guys. It's a plan they 100% came up with in scrims. Oh, MN3's dead. They lose this fight. Oh, good transcendence by Aim God. Dude, EMP is such a trash ability. Look at how bad this ultimate is. Look at how bad it is. This big EMP that he hits just transcends. It's such a bad ultimate. It's crazy. Oh, wow. Oh my god, Vindame won that. That was such an important 1v1 for Vindame to win. Yeah, MN3's bobs could use a little bit of work. How'd you change EMP? I would just make it hack people for like 3 seconds. Like, EMP was never the problem with Sombra. Obviously, it's bad when you get EMP'd and you get countered, but it actually has a lot of really cool counterplay and strategy and that kind of stuff of not grouping up, using a defensive ultimate to counter it. The problem with Sombra was that her manual hack hacked people for 4 seconds. It was really stupid. But if, like, EMP, it's a big ultimate. It's supposed to have impact. It's supposed to be annoying to play against. It's supposed to make you not be able to use things. Like, just, I understand the manual hack being only 1 second now, but I don't understand the EMP. Just remove the damage, remove everything else that they added to it, and just make it like a 3 second, 4 second hack for everyone hit by it. That's fine. Like, I think that's a fine thing to have in the game. Do you like her other new changes? I think they needed to change her manual hack, and I think what they've done is interesting. I think it's fine. I just think the EMP is a problem. Isn't 6 hours? Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah, however long it is. It was too long in Overwatch 1. Oh, wow. Good sleep. That sleep was actually so important because Smurf just, like, dies. Smurf fed here. Well, as I said, I don't think he was expecting that sleep. So Seoul Dynasty are going to go with the counter strategy of let's just nano profit and see what happens. MN3's positioning isn't great. We need to state this. MN3's positioning is questionable. If he was not hitting shots, he would be turbo feeding right now. Like he just keeps going into the strangest positions. Someone needed to touch? Maybe, I guess, but that's not the only time I've seen him. Like, he just, like, walks very aggressively and sort of, like, gambles that he's going to hit the shot. Like, he stepped up to kill the Zen. Maybe he needed to touch. I could have been wrong about that, but... Philly coach is very smart. They have very good strats like MN3 go kill. That's true. That is true. You can't argue with success. Because the Philadelphia Fusion get the win over the Seoul Dynasty in this match. As I said, I think Seoul Dynasty, you can have your concerns that maybe they're not as dominant as some of us are ranking them. But I don't think this was incredible by Fusion. This isn't Fusion turning a new leaf. This felt like some individual brilliance from the Philly team, especially and primarily on MN3. Can they replicate this? Maybe. Maybe in the Midseason Madness, they'll just dominate and they'll have this level of performance and they'll beat teams we're not expecting them to. But I'm just not in love with how Philly's playing the game. And Seoul Dynasty, I think their floor is much higher than the Philadelphia Fusion. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm excited to see the East play the West. We finally get to see the Wrecking Balls taking on the Doomfists, how these teams are playing, how the team's going to deal with Rush. We saw a little bit of that Rush mirror in this match. And Philly got the advantage. So maybe they have that in their back pocket and something that they can pull out against some of these teams. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the VOD review. I think I'm going to be doing a London Spitfire versus Dallas Fuel review probably tomorrow, and that'll end up on YouTube as well. So keep an eye out for that one. Love you all. Appreciate you. And I will see you guys next time.